everyone. This is Ma'am Ara Venise Ocampo, your instructor in HM109, Ergonomics and Facilities Planning for Hospitality Industry. Welcome to my class. So for today's lesson, we are going to talk about Module 1.2, the Principle of Facility Planning. For the learning objectives, after reading this module or after you watch this lesson video, you should be able to, number 1, define physical plant. Number 2, explain role of facilities in hotel building. Number 3, explain costs associated with hospitality facilities. Number 4, to explain the impact of facility design on facility management. And number 5, to describe components of a facility. So now let's begin to discuss Module 1.2, Principle of Facility Planning. But before that, let me just reiterate to you the definitions of the word principle and facility planning. So what do we mean by the term principle? So the principle means these are the concepts, okay, or ideas. Or basically, when we say principle, this will be our basis, okay? This will be the foundation of the concepts and ideas. But when we say facility planning, this refers to the design, okay? Number 1 is the design, the layout, and the third one is the accommodation. Of what? Of people, machines, and activities of a system or enterprise within a physical spatial environment. So, ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito is yung mga people, machines, and activities na nakapaloob sa tinatawag nating hospitality industry, or in this particular module, pinag-uusapan po natin is the hotel and the food and beverage services. Okay? So now let's begin. Ano nga po ba ang objectives ni facility planning? Pag sinabing objectives, ano ba yung aim? Okay? Ano ba yung goal ni facility planning? Bakit merong tinatawag na facility planning? So basically, when we say facility planning, it determines how an activity's tangible fixed assets best support achieving the abilities or activities objectives of a particular organization or establishments. So, pag ang objectives ng facility planning, iniisip natin dito yung mga tangible na fixed assets natin. Yung mga ilalagay nating gamit or yung mga facilities na tinatawag natin, how are they going to fit? Okay? How are they going to support yung mga activities within the organization? So, for example, di ba sa hotel, maglalagay tayo ng bed, maglalagay tayo ng mga lounge, maglalagay tayo ng mga tools and equipment sa food and beverage services, maglalagay tayo ng mga furnitures, mga fixtures. How are they going to support yung mga activities na gagawin ng mga personnel? Okay? So, next one is the introduction. It says here, the main aim of any business organization is to earn profit, which is true. Lahat naman ng businesses, ang unang aim nila is to earn profit, ang kumita ng pera. This is not only depends on the working of an organization, but also on its presentation. So, ano ba yung sinasabi nating presentation dito? So, it has something to do with the architectural design. It has something to do with the so-called facade, okay, of the particular establishment, which we will discuss later. The prime motive or objective of any hotel property is to attract more and more clients and guests and make their visits memorable experience. So, paano natin magagawa na maging memorable yung experience ng ating mga clients and mga guests? Of course, we need to give a priority. We need to prioritize giving special consideration to their accommodation. Okay? And also, to showcase the best of local traditions and culture. Ibig sabihin, we are going to give our best, okay, to implement those special services, to give special consideration when it comes to their lodging accommodation. Because when we say accommodation, these are the places where our guests stay, relax, rest, or even spend their time or vacation. At the same time, we can also offer here yung mga local traditions and culture para maramdaman nila na they are comfortable in a particular place. So a great deal of this depends on the so-called architecture and designing of a property, which is yun yung ating pag-uusapan today. So now let's move on to the next slide. So for the next slide, it says here that architecture is the art or science of designing and constructing buildings, which is true. Alam naman po nating lahat that when we say architecture, ang una nating naiisip is yung design ng bahay, design ng hotels, or design ng mga buildings. But when we say architecture, it is both the process of planning. It is both process of planning at the same time designing. Designing and also constructing. Hindi mawawala yung tatlong process na yan when we talk about architecture. It is both the process of planning, designing, and constructing buildings or other structures. So, pag sinabi din nating architecture, it is being perceived to us as a cultural symbol. Cultural symbol. At the same time, ito yung tinatawag natin na work of art. Work of art. So, it says here that a good piece of architecture is one in which succeeds in satisfying its intended uses. That it should be technically sound as well as aesthetically appealing. Ano ba pag sinabi natin yung word na aesthetic? Usually, these are the appreciation of the what we called beauty. Appreciation ng kagandahan ng isang bagay. So, dito sa architecture, there should be a collaboration between the architects and the engineer, which is later, mas ipapaliwanag pa natin siya. It says here that any building design is invariably influenced by the technologies applied. So nowadays, gumagamit na talaga tayo ng mga magagandang technology, mga high technology, mga magagandang software in order for us to plan, decide, or design, or even construct a piece of art or a work of art. So it says here that the process of planning, designing, and construction of a hotel is known as its integration. When we say integration, pinagsama-sama, pinag-combine-combine. The designing of the building, hotel facilities, and service sets the scene for a lively atmosphere. So ano ba yung sinasabi nating lively atmosphere? So of course, in a particular establishment, for example, pagpasok mo ng hotel, kung ano yung design ng hotel, it sets your mood. Nakakaapekto yung atmosphere, yung ambience, yung architectural design, or even yung mismo mga tao within the location sa guest satisfaction. So it says here that throughout the hotel, the designers and architects create a subliminal ambience of elegance and opulence. So, but first of all, ano ba muna si architect? Sino ba si architect? So, basically, an architect creates design for a new construction projects, alteration, and redevelopment. So, itong mga architects na to, they are the what we call specialists. They are the specialists when it comes to the construction, knowledge, and high level of drawing skills. So, sila yung may kakayahan with regards sa mga drawing skills, sa pagde-design ng mga building, that those are functional, safe, sustainable, and aesthetically pleasing. So, syempre, ang isang architect, kapag nag-design sila ng isang building, ng isang bahay, or isang structure, hindi lang basta-basta sila nagde-design. They should keep in mind, or they should tell their clients that those designs are built to be functional, that the design is safe, it is sustainable, ibig sabihin, they will use resources that will not compromise the next generation or the future generation. And of course, it is appealing. Okay? It is aesthetically pleasing. Okay? Ma-appreciate po yung kagandahan ng mismong design ng isang architect. So when we say opulence, of course, mga architects, they are very good when it comes to their drawing skills. So, yung tinatawag nating opulence dito, it means luxurious. Okay? There is a sense of elegance and luxuriousness. Okay? There is a richness in their design. From the exterior to the lobby and public areas. So, ano-ano ba yung mga public areas sa hotel? So, before, napag-aralan nyo na yan sa housekeeping department. So, the public areas are the entrance, the lobby, the lounge, the front desk, the corridor, the banquet halls, yung bars, elevators, leisure areas such as the swimming pool, spa, and health club. So, basically, yung public areas, it means lahat yon visible sa mga tao or sa mga guests. Pero hindi doon natatapos because yung kanilang skills in designing is pwede rin sa mga guest room, of course, and every section of the property. So, minsan, di ba, may mga guests na paulit-ulit silang nag-check-in sa particular hotel na yon because for them, the hotel is appealing. The hotel is aesthetically pleasing. Ang ganda ng interior and exterior design ng pinaka-hotel. So, the designs are generally at their creative best in specialty restaurants, nightclubs, and also guest rooms. So, of course, sa mga susunod nating topics, we are going to reiterate more about the design of the food and service restaurant or the food and beverage service establishments. So, it says here, according to hotel architect Maurice Lapidus, meron daw dalawang guests. Okay? Merong dalawang klase ng hotel guests. Those are the business travelers and yung other travelers na tinatawag. So, ano nga po ba si business travelers? So, when we say business travelers, they are or they require a comfortable bed, a easily accessible food, drawers space, and good lighting for reading and quick service. So, of course, itong mga business travelers na to, they are the corporate people na tinatawag natin. So, most likely, ang mga inaasikaso nila is all about business, mga transactions na may kinalaman sa business. So, they need a, let's say, they need a room that will fit their needs. Okay? So, next one is yung other travelers. So, ano naman si other travelers? So, let's erase first the annotations. Okay? So, ano nga po ba si other categories or si other travelers? So, when we say other category, this appreciates all these needs of necessities, but wants the atmosphere of their room and hotel to reflect the culture of the city, country they are visiting. So, when we say other category, ito na yung tinatawag natin na mga tourists or in general, tayo to. Okay? So, we want our hotel na sometimes meron pa tayong mga requirements na gusto natin nandun tayo sa specific area sa hotel. For example, yung room natin, gusto natin city view. Okay? O pwede naman pool view. Okay? O kaya naman yung iba, gusto nila merong veranda sa room. So, it means meron din silang mga kanya-kanyang preferences. So, all these travelers expect something different in a hotel than what they find in their homes. Of course, we go to the hotels because gusto natin ma-relax. Okay? We are on a vacation, we are on a staycation, or probably meron tayong business na kailangan attendan. So, ibig sabihin, we want something new na wala dun sa mga kanya-kanya nating bahay. The architecture of a hotel depends not only on the way its owner and entrepreneur wants, but also on the creativity and imagination of the architect. So, of course, in the process, nag-usap na si hotel owner at saka si architect. So, basically, ang mangyayari dito, there should be a mutual understanding or mutual communication na yung design na gusto ni owner at yung mga suggestions ni architect should meet in the middle. So, kailangan yung creativity and imagination masunod para magkaroon ng magandang architectural design or in the end, magkaroon ng magandang output. So, the next one here is the physical plant. Ano ba yung tinatawag natin na physical plant? So, when we say physical plant, this refers to the grounds, building, structure, building system, interior finishes, furniture, fixtures, and equipment of a lodging facility. So, basically, the term physical plant, it refers to the highly visible aspects or components of a particular establishment. Ito yung mga madalas nyong makita. Ito yung visible to the eye, such as grounds, exterior buildings, structure, and then the furniture. Okay? So, huwag kakalimutan that the physical plant, it refers to those aspects or components in a particular establishment that are visible. Nakikita natin. So, the next one is the fixtures and equipment. Ano nga po ba yung sinasabi natin na fixtures? So, in your housekeeping procedure subject before, na-encounter kung ano mga ba si fixtures. So, basically, fixtures, those are the items that are properly attached. Okay? So, items that are properly attached. O sabi nga, those are the fixed. Okay? Fixed items. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga items or yung mga bagay na inilalagay natin sa isang establishment or sa isang area na hindi mo siya basta-basta matatanggal. Kaya nga sinabi dyan, properly attached or fixed in a particular area. So, ano nga ba yung mga example ng mga fixtures? Those are the structural steel in the building, the plumbing o yung mga tubo, and the large roots of the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning o yung tinatawag natin na HVAC system. They are seldom, okay, pag sinabing seldom, hindi nakikita or madalang makita ng mga guests at ng mga employees. So, the elements of a physical plant constitute a significant portion of the construction cost of a building and consume a significant fraction of the maintenance and energy costs. So, itong mga fixtures na to, itong mga physical plant na tinatawag natin, silang lahat is kailangan nila ng maintenance at sila po is mataas ang kanilang energy costs. So, that's why it says here, there should be a proper care and operation. Okay? At ang in charge or ang responsible for that is the engineering and maintenance department. So, of course, pag sinabi nating engineering, andyan si engineer. So, si engineer, they are the professionals trained to design and build machines, structures, and other things including, for example nga po dyan is yung buildings or even bridges, roads, or vehicles. So, si engineering, it refers to how things would work and of course, they will find practical uses for a scientific discovery. So, basically, there are 6 types of engineers. It can be the mechanical, okay, the chemical, the civil, electrical, management, and geotechnical engineers. But most likely sa isang hotel, they would probably hire yung tinatawag natin na mechanical, okay? They will probably hire also civil engineers, electrical engineers, which is very important, and of course, yung tinatawag na management engineer. So they will probably hire 4 kinds of engineer in a hotel. But of course, it depends upon on how large or small a particular hotel establishment is. Okay? So next slide is the need for good facilities planning. So ano nga ba yung mga kailangan natin in order for us to establish or implement a good facility planning? So number 1 is the plant facilities influence the cost of operating and therefore profits. So we have to bear in mind that itong mga facilities na to, yung mga ilalagay natin sa company natin, meron po yung mga costs. Okay? Ibig sabihin, meron yung karampatan na mga expenses when it comes to the operation. And of course, as the time goes by, pag kumita yung hotel, so magkakaroon sila ng tinatawag na profit or revenue. So planning allows facilities to comply with laws and of course, regulations. So in relation to THM08, so even yung paglalagay natin ng mga facilities, ng mga equipments sa ating establishment, dapat in relation or relevant pa din sa batas, okay? At sa mga regulations na dapat ipatupad. And of course, facilities involve high cost expenditures or high capital cost expenditures. Of course, ang pagpapatayo ng isang hotel is, sabi nga, hindi biro because it will take you a high amount or a high capital for the investment. Sa dami ba naman ang kailangan mong ipundar, okay? So, kailangan mo ng malaking capital investment. So, next one is facilities are fixed investment, not readily convertible to money or resale. So, pag bumili ka na ng mga facilities, bumili ka na ng mga kailangan sa hotel, at nagsimula na yung construction ng hotel, it is a fixed investment. Okay? Hindi mo basta-basta mako-convert yung mga pinagbibili mo into a money or hindi mo siya basta-basta maibebenta or maibebenta sa iba't ibang tao. Facilities are inflexible, okay? Basically, physically fixed and have limited opportunities to be changed. Facilities are long-term commitments with protracted periods of financial return. Ano ba yung sinasabi natin na word na protracted? So, when we say protracted, these are lasting for a long time. Okay? Last for a long time. Ibig sabihin, it takes longer, okay, than expected or usual. Ibig sabihin, when we, let's say, when we plan to put up facilities in our establishments, it will take time, okay, para magkaroon ng financial return. Kasi syempre, hindi naman agad-agad kikita ang isang hotel, lalo na kung ka-open pa lang niya, at lalo na kung mababa, or let's say, mahina yung marketing promotions. So, that's why may mga ibang hotels, it takes years, okay? It takes 5 years, 3 years for them to get the financial return. So, next one is the facilities planning, design, and construction require long lead times. So, ano ba yung sinasabi natin dito na lead time? So, when we say lead time, these are the amount of time that passes upon the start, okay, up to the conclusion. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung oras, okay, o yung dami ng oras from the very start na nagsimula ka until sa natapos ka. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ang isang construction ng isang hotel, meron siyang process. May simula and then hihintayin mo kung kailan siya magagawa. Ganon din sa mga facilities. So, sound plans for implementation can avoid disruptions in the production and discontinuities for shipping or delivery. So, ano ba yung sinasabi natin dito na sound plan? So, before, sa management, lagi nang nasasabi or lagi nang nababanggit si sound plan. So, basically, sound plan or sound financial plan, it is necessary for the success of any business. So, these are the policies or procedures for proper coordination between various functional areas of the business. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating sound plan, ito yung mga policies or procedures. Okay? On how are we going to coordinate yung mga bagay sa iba't ibang department sa ating business. Example na nga dito is yung proper allocation, okay? Proper allocation of resources. Paano ba natin i-allocate yung mga iba't ibang resources within the departments of the hotel? Okay? At dapat yung mga i-allocate natin na mga resources na yon, yung mga i-distribute natin na resources, dapat it would create or minimize the waste. Ibig sabihin, walang masasayang sana as much as possible. Kasi pag maraming nasayang na mga resources within a company, it will end na malulugi yung company or mas matindi pa is magkaroon ng bankruptcy. So, dapat meron tayong sound plan o yung tinatawag natin na good sound plan. So, next one here is the operations can produce detrimental waste that affect the entire community. So, pag sinabi nating detrimental, it might cause harm or damage. Of course, sa pagpapatayo ng isang hotel or when we put up yung mga facilities, when we plan for a facilities, we should always think about the next step. Baka naman kasi mamaya we are into planning, masyado tayong na-excite sa pagpa-plan, pero hindi natin alam yung plano natin is pwedeng mag-cause ng harm, pwedeng mag-cause ng damage, or pwedeng madamay negatively yung entire community o yung mga kalapit natin na community within the area. Next one is the safe, convenience, and appearance and comfort of the industrial facilities should influence the attitudes and the ability to attract suitable employees. So, syempre, yung mga dapat na ilagay natin na mga facilities sa ating hotel, it should always complement the employees. That's why tinanong ko dito, or meron akong question, what do you think is the relationship between ergonomics, okay, and facilities planning? Kasi di ba yung title ng ating subject is Ergonomics and Facilities Planning. Ano ba yung relationship nila sa isa't isa? Okay? So sabi nga natin, when we say ergonomics, it is a science of making the work environment fit to the worker's need. So in that case, yung work environment na tinatawag natin doon is yung hospitality industry. Pwedeng hotel, pwedeng food and beverage service establishments, and so on. So, we need to put or install facilities na susuporta dun sa mga kailangan na activities doon sa establishment. And we have to make sure na yung mga facilities na yon is mag-fit doon sa mga workers natin, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga guests natin. Okay? So, kaya nga tinawag dito, facilities planning. We are planning, we are setting our goals, our objectives on how are we going to implement, establish, or even put up those facilities. Okay? So, next is the industrial facilities must be planned to meet the anticipated future requirements yet compete profitably today. So, ano ba yung mga industrial facilities na tinatawag natin? So, yun yung mga heating, ventilation, or mga air conditioning units, mga furnitures, o yung mga grounds mismo. So, ibig sabihin, dapat kapag nag-put up tayo ng mga facilities sa ating hotel, hindi dapat yan pang sandalian lang. Okay? it should meet the needs ng mga future guests natin. It should meet the needs of a variety of people. And syempre, yung mga facilities na ilalagay natin sa hotel natin or sa isang establishment, it should be competitive. Okay? Yung hindi ka mahuhuli sa ibang mga hotels. Facilities need to be planned for an appropriate degree of flexibility, expandability, and versatility. So, as mentioned earlier. So, good planning buys time for making commitments. It minimizes being taken by surprise. So, syempre, kaya nga tayo nagpaplano, we want things to be in direction. We want to have a clear path. We want to have a clear direction kung saan nga ba patungo yung plano natin na to. Ayaw natin na ma-surprise na lang tayo bigla. Kaya nga, di ba, sabi sa mga unang part, the architect and the owner should have a mutual connection or mutual communication. Para in the end, yung gustong design ni owner, magawa ni architect. Hindi yung si architect lang ang nag-decide for the design. Next one is, if plans are made, management can react faster and take advantage of business opportunities that arise. So, syempre, as we go along the way, kapag naging successful na yung hotel, okay, pwede natin i-implement, pwede pa natin mas pagandahin yung plano. And in that case, mas makaka-attract tayo ng madaming opportunities. Okay. So, next one. Good planning, especially if presented well visually, is an aid to obtain financial monies. So, ibig sabihin, if we have a good plan, in return, meron din yung kapalit. Okay? So, ang kapalit nun, pwedeng kapag maganda yung plano mo, na-execute mo ng maayos, so, in return, magiging successful yung company. You will earn a lot of profit. The single most important cause of high materials handling costs is the ad hoc expansion of plant facilities in the absence of strategic site development. So, all of this, ang may handle na nito is the architects, the engineers, because they are the one who will estimate yung mga kailangan na materials para dun sa establishment. So, next one is the essential components of a physical plant. Ano-ano ba yung mga components, mga elements na nakapaloob sa physical plant? So, number one is yung layout, okay, the skeleton framework for operations, yung ating pattern, material handling, so ano yun, yung musculoskeletal system for movement and activity, procedures and communication, of course, dapat meron yan, and of course, utilities, auxiliaries. So, dapat, we are very careful na itong mga ilalagay natin na mga facilities, it will not harm us. Hindi tayo magkakaroon ng respiratory disease. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, meron pa rin siyang pag-iingat with regards sa health or sa kalusugan ng ating mga employees. Building, okay? Estate, yung ating land mismo, comfortable furnitures, fitting to rest or work. Very important kasi, di ba? Kaya nga check-in yung mga tao sa hotel, it's because they want to have a comfortable place to stay. Air conditioning plant, of course, dapat there is a proper ventilation. Kitchen, so yung kitchen, of course, ang role ni kitchen is to take care of the customers na kailangan nilang ipagluto yung mga customers because, ayun, nagugutom si customer, merong mga needs si customer, or meron siyang mga gustong kainin na food na dapat included doon sa menu. Transport system, yan, it should lift, escalators, fleet of buses, and taxis. So, dapat sa physical plant, okay, merong elevator. As much as possible kung may elevator sa hotel. O kaya naman, escalator. O kaya naman is yung mga bagay na kailangan i-lift, lalong-lalo na yung mga supplies. So, dapat lahat yon available. Audio and video system, of course, to entertain the customer. Upon entering the hotel, meron ng mga classical or background music. Telecommunication system, so of course, ang role niya is to receive and send messages. Safety provisions, systems for personal safety, fire and theft. So, dapat meron tayong mga ilagay na fire extinguisher, first aid kit, and there should be people in charge para gawin yon if ever magkaroon ng accidents. And of course, staff to manage all above. So, ibig sabihin, kahit gaano karaming components itong napag-usapan natin, kung wala namang magmamanage, kung wala namang mag-handle or titingin, mag-oversee or supervise, so ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ng problema. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So, role of facilities in a hotel building. So, para saan nga ba tayo naglalagay ng facilities? Ano ba yung kinalaman ng facilities na to when it comes sa guest satisfaction? So, it says here, facilities provide an appealing visual environment. Of course, the ambience, the experience, and comfort of the guests. So, hindi naman pwede na magpapatayo ka lang ng building without even installing or without putting up facilities. So, yung facilities, aside from the quality service na pinoprovide ng mga employees, so kasama doon yung facilities, the ambience, yung experience nila, and of course, yung comfort. So, all lodging facilities including hotels, resorts, theme parks, water attractions, casinos, the facilities themselves are an attraction. Okay? So, sabi nga natin, minsan, yung mismong hotel is the attraction. Okay? So, di ba, before we've talked about the primary and secondary attractions sa tourism. So, when we say primary attraction, those are the attractions itself. Okay? Yun mismo yung lugar na pinuntahan ng mga guests. So, yung secondary attraction, those are the attractions that complement, okay, the primary attraction. So, for example, Baguio City. So, Baguio City is the main attraction. But in Baguio City, dahil sa dami ng mga hotels, so minsan yung hotel, yung pinag-check-inan mo na hotel, nagiging secondary attraction. Kasi mismo sa hotel na yon, maraming mga activities na pwede gawin, or mismong yung hotel na yon, di ba? Sobrang ganda ng ambience, maraming tao yung nagpapapicture. For example, the Manor, Baguio Country Club, Lemonade Hotel. So all of those hotel, naging attraction na din siya sa Baguio. So, facilities not only improve level of guest satisfaction, but also help to retain business. So, alam naman natin, when we have a good facilities, okay, competitive facilities, tumataas yung guest satisfaction. Pero, syempre, pag mataas ang guest satisfaction, pag maraming guests ang natutuwa sa services na binibigay ng hotel, maganda yung kanilang feedback, of course, your business will retain or even grow. When we say retain, mananatili. Pag naging successful pa siya, mag-e-expand. Okay? Kaya nga yung ibang mga hotels, they are open for franchise o yung mga corporations na tinatawag. So, facilities of a 5-star hotel include well-equipped front office, 24 hours running hot and cold water supply, a la carte restaurant, coffee shops, banquets and conference rooms, swimming pool, gym, spa, 24 hours in-room dining, well-furnished accommodation with attached bathroom, and so on. So, lahat na ata ng mga magagandang facilities nandun na sa 5-star hotel. So, sabi nga natin, hotels are classified by a classification committee based on the architectural features, facilities, and services. Kaya nga dun sila nararank from 1-star hotel to 5-star hotel or even 7-star hotel. So, unseen facilities create a good thermal environment. Kaya lang, hindi nga lang natin sila nakikita. So basically, bakit malamig sa isang hotel, bakit malamig sa mall? So ang nakakatulong doon is yung mga unseen facilities. Yung mga hindi natin nakikita na facilities such as the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning units. Okay? So next one. I hope you're still watching our video para at least, di ba, naiintindihan natin siyang mabuti. So next one is the safety. Safety is another important factor related to facilities. So protection from injury, from loss of their possession. So of course, kapag tayo is naglagay ng mga facilities, nagtayo tayo ng mga facilities, it should not harm the employees, the guests, okay? It should not harm the environment. So dapat free from injury and from loss of possessions. Baka naman kasi mamaya, for example, the Burj Al Arab, di ba? Most of their facilities or the interior designs of the hotel is made from gold. So baka mamaya, di ba? If there are terrorists within the country, mapagdiskitahan pa yung hotel. So proper safety and of course, yung ating security department should always be attentive. Costs associated with hospitality facilities. Costs associated with hospitality facilities varies from type of hotel as well as the location of the hotel. So, syempre, yung mga ipuput up natin na facilities, nakadepende po siya sa kung anong klaseng hotel ba yan. So, of course, kung 3-star hotel lang yan, okay, or 3-star hotel pa lang yan, we should not put up facilities that are too luxurious. Especially kung hindi naman yun yung aim mo. If you want to put up luxurious facilities, okay, you should probably build a 5-star or even 7-star hotel. At nakadepende daw po yun sa location ng hotel. Of course, ano ba yung mga cost or yung mga expenses sa pagpapatayo ng hotel? Number 1, cost of land. Okay? Magkano yung lupa na pagpapatayuan ng hotel mo? Cost associated with land development. Building and construction cost. So, ito siguro yung pinakamahal din. Okay? Cost of landscaping. Meron bang backyard or front yard garden na ilalagay doon sa hotel? Cost of building systems. So, ano yun? Yung mga sinatawag natin kanina, yung HVAC. Lighting system. Building transportation. Water supply, safety and security system, waste and garbage management system, energy management system, and so on. Cost of furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Of course, kasali rin yan. We need to decorate our hotel. We need to put up decorations. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga furnitures na ilalagay natin, yung mga fixtures na ikakabit sa mga area, at yung mga equipments na kailangan ilagay sa iba't ibang department sa hotel is nakakaapekto, okay, doon sa expenses. Cost of interiors, of course, interior design, cost associated in legal aspects. Of course, when you put up a hotel, you need to apply for a permit sa government or at kung ano-ano pang mga dapat ayusin na papers na may kinalaman sa legality. Fee of hotel consultants, engineers, interiors, legal experts, architects, and so on. So, lahat ng tao na involved sa hotel project, lahat sila is meron ding bayad. So, lahat yon is nakasama din sa cost or expenses ng isang hotel. Okay. Next one is the building and system operation. Lodging building does not operate without continuous attention. Of course, any business would not operate unless there is a proper supervision. The building and the system installing in this business require basic maintenance, repair or replacement of failed parts, calibration of controls and equipment, and attention to, okay, so let's move to the next slide. Attention to factors that may pose safety problems and inevitably a major renovation or rehabilitation. So, for the safety problems here, sabi dito, para daw ma-avoid natin yon, okay, we need to provide an adequate attention. So, sabi nga dito, failure to provide adequate attention to these needs can result to poor operating performance. So, as mentioned in HM108, pag sinabi nating operations, these are the designing, okay, the designing of performance, lalo na when it comes to production. But in here, yung operating or operations na tinatawag natin is yung mismong nangyayari sa hotel. Pag hindi natin na-supervise ng maayos yung pagpapagawa ng hotel, yung pag-put up ng mga facilities na yan, okay, there might be a poor operating performance. So, in which may affect the guest's perception of quality, employee performance, morale, safety of the guests and employees, and profitability of the operation. So, ibig sabihin, maraming mga factors ang maaapektuhan. Okay? Kung hindi natin bibigyan ng proper attention yung ating establishment. From the very first time that the building is being constructed until na nag-ooperate na siya. So, it is the failure of systems to work properly which draw unwanted attention and create managerial nightmares. So, ayaw naman natin yun, na magkaroon ng improper management sa ating hotel. So, building maintenance, the actual physical structure of the hotel may initially seem like something which requires relatively little effort on the part of the engineering department. So, sabi nga dito, the stone, the brick, the asphalt, steel of the most of the building would appear last forever. Okay? So, lahat yan tatagal. But then, there are large number of basic maintenance activities which must be undertaken if the building is to preserve its initial appearance or function. That's why, di ba, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na renovation, which later on, i-discuss natin siya. So, paano naman daw yung maintenance of guest rooms, furnishing, and mga fixtures? So, it says here, from the perspective of the lodging property guest, the guest room, furnishings, or yung mga furnitures, fixtures of the property are very visible features. So, itong mga to, visible. Nakikita ni guest, nakikita nating lahat. Okay? Which, in return, contribute to the overall experience of the establishment. So, yung experience na yun, pwedeng positive, pwedeng negative. So, ibig sabihin, there should be a proper maintenance of these elements. At sino yung responsible sa maintenance na yun? Of course, the engineering department staff. Okay? For example, sa isang guest room, pundido na pala yung ilaw. Okay? So, dapat kapag chinek ni housekeeper yon, i-note niya sa kanyang housekeeping form na itong room 107, sira yung light bulb ng bathroom. Para in return, mapalitan na siya ni engineering or ni maintenance department. Kasi 'di ba, as long as na madaming sira sa room, okay, madaming mga, let's say, dapat na i-repair, madaming dapat na i-renovate, ibig sabihin, that room is not sellable. Okay? So, lalagyan natin siya ng room status. For example, out of order. It means yung room na yon hindi natin siya pwedeng ibenta for the meantime until na maayos siya ng engineering or maintenance department. So, next one is the equipment maintenance and repair. So, paano naman daw yung maintenance when it comes to the equipments? The amount of equipment installed in a modern hotel or motel is outstanding. Or in the guest room, there are television, HVAC unit, various electric lamps, ventilation fans, and in the bath, sanitary fittings, and sundry other items. So, basically, dito, sinasabi natin yung mga public spaces. Okay? So, sa public spaces daw, may mga HVAC units. Okay? Yung pools natin, may mga pumps, filters, water treatment systems, and more. Pagdating naman sa kitchen and laundry, ayan, marami rin tayong mga equipments doon, okay, that needs a continual repair or adjustment. So, yung repair and maintenance of all the equipment, sabi ko nga kanina, ang responsible doon is the engineering department. But to clarify everything, when we say the word maintenance, it means to maintain something. Okay? To keep in an existing state or to preserve from failure or decline. Yun din yung importante kung bakit kailangan laging may proper maintenance. Ibig sabihin, ayaw natin na maging luma yung isang bagay. Ayaw natin na masira yung isang bagay. So that's why, kapag may nakita tayong problem with a certain kind of facility sa mga equipment, dapat nire-report natin agad siya. There should be a proper documentation ng report para nang sa ganon is magawa agad siya. Okay? At hindi na siya mag-cost ng malaking expenses. Okay? At hindi na siya mag-cost ng problema sa mismong operation ng hotel. Repair expenses have a significant effect on the cost of building maintenance. So, ayaw naman natin na nalulugi yung hotel dahil lang sa pagpaparepair, nang dahil lang sa dami ng kailangan na gawin ng maintenance at ng engineering department. So, budgeting and cost control approximately. So, 11% of the property of the productions and operations management budget is directly expanded for accurate to budget and cost control. So, syempre, sa isang company, may mga sineset tayong budget. Okay? Let's say, for example, ang budget this year for maintenance and maintenance department, for example, is 2 million. So, hindi naman ibig sabihin no, na yung 2 million na yun, kailangan natin magastos. As much as possible nga, sana malesen yung gastos when it comes sa mga maintenance. Kasi pag sinabi nating maintenance, okay, pag may kailangan gawin, ibig sabihin may problem. Kailangan nating ayusin. At yung kailangan ayusin na yon, kailangan mo pang ibili ng iba't ibang gamit, okay, para maayos yung particular na problem. Okay, so it will create a lot of expenses. So next one is the safety or security maintenance. So ano ba yung sinasabi nating security and safety? So when we say security, it involves the physical assets of the property, employees, suppliers, and guests. Okay? So, security, physical asset. Ibig sabihin, those are the tangible items. Okay? The tangible parts ng ating property. Yun nga daw yung employees, suppliers, yung mga guests. But when we say safety, okay? Pag sinabi nating safety, it means those are the potential injury to both employees and guests. So that's why sabi natin dito, at smaller establishments, it is not unusual for building safety and security to be largely responsibility of the engineering department. So most likely kapag maliit lang naman yung establishment, hindi na sila nag-hire ng engineers, okay? Hindi na sila masyadong nagbibigay attention sa engineering and maintenance. Kumbaga, meron na lang silang sineset na mga tao. Of course, yung mga tao na yun, qualified pa rin to do a certain job. Some specific safety and security concerns will exist within the engineering area. So, ano ba yung mga pwedeng mangyari o yung mga concerns? Key control, okay? Lock rotation, control of tools and supplies, mga emergency daw with regards sa sunog, kunyari, potentially dangerous situation. For example, may mga, let's say, nasira sa room na nag-cause ng accident kay guests. Safe operations of equipment, very important. Tools and outside contractor interactions. So, lahat po yan is yung mga safety and security concerns na pwedeng mag-exist, okay, na pwedeng mag-exist doon sa ating hotel. So, the next one is the contractual and regularity compliance. Ayan. So, medyo nabubulol na si ma'am. So, the term contractual and regularity compliance refers to the requirements imposed upon the property which are legal nature and sometimes directly or indirectly responsibility of engineering. So, sinasabi lang natin dito, yung contractual and regularity compliance is ito yung sinasabi natin na kapag pinapatayo na yung building. Okay? Anything na mangyari doon sa building, sa hotel, okay, habang ginagawa at pag nagawa na, okay, ang responsible doon is yung engineering department o yung mismong engineer, yung mismong architect. Okay? And those compliance has a relationship sa tinatawag natin na law o yung batas. Kaya nga sabi dito, there is a legal nature. Next one is the parts inventory and control. So this is also very important because in a certain establishment, kahit saan naman yan, talagang ginagawa po natin yung inventory. That's why, sabi natin, for this reason, an adequate parts and supplies inventory and control over the purchase and storage of these items are very important. Okay? Nag-put up tayo ng mga facilities, ng mga equipments. So, dapat, merong proper inventory. Baka naman kasi mamaya, lahat ng mga equipments na ininvest natin, lahat na nasira. So, dapat nakalagay dun sa inventory na itong mga items na to nasira and for what reason. Para in return, mapalitan siya ng mas maayos. Okay? Next one is the renovation, additions, and restoration. So, ano ba yung pinagkaiba ni renovation tsaka ni restoration? So, basically, pag sinabing renovation, these are the upgrading. Okay? Kaya ka nga nag-renovate. Because you want to upgrade an existing structure. You want to improve the performance, okay, of a particular building. O kaya naman, when we say restoration, it means, okay, it means putting back. Okay? Or returning something into its original or former state. Okay? So, for example, di ba sa vegan or sa Ilocos, yung mga establishments doon. So, talaga namang very traditional. Okay? Culture-friendly. Ngayon, pag ginawa nating modern yon, ang tawag na natin doon is the renovation. Pero, kung magre-remain pa rin siya as the same, okay? Kung ipuput back natin siya sa dati niya talagang itsura, okay? Sa authentic style niya, sa authentic features niya, so we can call it as restoration. So, bakit ba nagkakaroon ng renovation tsaka restoration? Usually, kapag merong mga sira, okay, may mga kailangan na baguhin doon sa establishments. So, order to support a new concept is a common feature of the lodging properties. Next one is the special project. So, yung sinasabi lang po natin dito sa special project, it is the introduction of new technologies and the needs of the lodging customers to special services. So, ano ba yung mga special services na yon? Usually, di ba? Nowadays, kapag merong mga events, so naglalagay tayo ng iba't ibang mga equipments para lang mag-fit doon sa event. So, sabi dito, example daw ng mga new technologies is yung new communication, solar system, water treatment plant, optical fiber lighting, okay? So, lahat ng yon is yung engineering department ang nag-aasikaso. So, for special events, they may require a construction of display stands, protective barriers. So, that's why minsan, di ba, sa mga trade show, meron silang mga electric services pa na nilalagay, phone connection, mga special lighting, yung mga iba't ibang klaseng ilaw na magsusut, okay, at magko-complement doon mismo sa event. So, these projects require the input of engineering department early in negotiating the stages of the contract for the event. And of course, lahat ng yon is may karampatan na expenses. Next one is the training of staff. So, for the training of staff, it is very unusual na syempre mag-hire tayo ng mga tao na hindi naman competent or hindi naman qualified for a certain position. That's why when we hire staff, okay, they should fit, they are really qualified. So, training activities within the maintenance area may differ somehow from those in other areas of the property. So, of course, iba yung training na pinagdaanan ni housekeeping department, ng mga housekeeper. Iba yung training na pinagdaanan ni FO sa pagdadaanan ng training ng mga tao, okay, na na-hire doon sa maintenance department. Usually, they are the electricians, painters, mga carpenters. Okay? Na meron din silang specific skills or abilities. So, while some responsibility exists to maintain their skill levels, the primary focus of training is to inform these employees the standards and specific requirement of the property at which they are employed. So, yung mga trainings nila, it can be grouped in categories. Pwedeng general training, pwedeng departmental training, and job-specific training. So, ang pinaka-importante lang naman dito sa training of staff is they must know or they must be knowledgeable about the so-called SOP, the Standard Operating Procedure. Ibig sabihin, doon nakapaloob lahat ng mga dapat nilang gawin. The do's and the don'ts. Okay? Para nang sa ganon, mas makapag-perform sila ng maayos sa kanilang mga workplace or work area. Okay. So, I hope you're still with me watching this lesson video. So, that concludes our Module 1.2. So, medyo mahaba nga lang po yung ating Module 1.2, but rest assured that you can still rewind, replay this video or this lesson video. If ever na meron kayo mga na-miss na points or hindi agad naintindihan, so you can simply replay itong ating lesson video sa YouTube. So I hope you understand, you gain some knowledge here in our lesson or Module 1.2, which is the Principle of Facility Planning. So further discussions and clarifications will be answered during our Zoom class. So again, thank you so much for watching and listening in our very interesting, okay, very challenging lesson today. So again, this is Ma'am Ara Venise Ocampo, your instructor in HM109, Ergonomics and Facilities Planning for Hospitality Industry. Thank you so much and keep safe, everyone. Goodbye!